You have successfully managed to claw your way into the Casa Berenice Recordings podcast, episode 19.
This podcast is our way to release multi-tracked recordings from house concerts that we host in our living room. We being Clay Chaplin and Heather Lockie, and including our Claude friends Xenotron, Buzzy, Nemesis, and Fluff Nugget. This episode features a performance by Ezra Buchla. It was recorded live at a Casa Berenice house concert on April 9th, 2022.
Stick around after the performance for an interview with Ezra Buchla.
And now, here is Ezra Buchla performing on viola and electronics.
I'm Ezra Buchla. I like to play the viola a lot. I like sounds and hearing. I'm really, really interested in ears and hearing and music, but music can mean a lot of things, and I'm not really always sure what it means to me. I was just kind of transposing the sounds I've been kind of making for myself at home, not overthinking it as far as like presenting work to an audience or whatever. But as far as that material, it's like these very simple elements, colored noise and sine waves and breath and viola, but not like I'm not trying to be bombastic in a way with like technique or structure. I'm kind of taking, I guess, musical elements or ideas that are like already circulating and trying to sort of capture them, but also extrapolate from those natural ideas and make some sort of sound object that is, I don't know, expands and lets you sort of examine what these tones are. Mm-hmm. A lot of it is about like establishing a tonality. I've been very interested for quite a few years now in this particular body of mostly transcribed folk song that has become very resonant recently because it's a Jewish folk song from the Pale of Settlement, which is the part of Russia where all the Jews had to go after 1750 when Russia absorbed a big part of Poland and got a few million Jews in the bargain. And so this one Ukrainian musicologist named Moishe Bergovsky, who worked in Kiev for a long time, collected all these songs. A lot of them are pre-Russian Revolution, like World War I, worker protest and anti-war songs. So they've been really resonating to me a lot lately. And they're a cappella songs, and when I play it on viola, it's not like correct, but I'm interested in like, not just like, also I should say like this sort of like klezmer music was something I was really immersed in as a child.
Oh, cool.
But haven't really stayed immersed in as an adult. So it's like all in muscle memory, but it's not, but it's in my mind, it's layered with memory, and it's kind of like, and there's something about like seeing 10 different transcriptions of one folk song that engages me in that sort of memory sense, which is one of the senses in which I like think that music is amazing. Like music is an amazing memory thing, and so I'm trying to kind of channel that feeling of like superimposing things. And on a technical level, it's kind of like I'll do a performance, or sometimes I'll actually just capture the room with the microphone. Mm-hmm. And all the tonalities are extracted from that segment of audio. So when I'm playing the keyboard tonight, it's a little keyboard, but that tuning has been just created from the viola material.
Nice.
Wow. So I don't really know what is happening, and then I will sort of play that with also like echoes of the viola performance being spectrally manipulated with the microphone and the tones.
That's
kind of what's going on.
Yeah.
I mean, thinking about these contrasts and expectations and contexts, and I mean, it was weird. I've told this to everyone already, but came here from playing at a memorial service.
Right,
where it was like, I played viola and sang, and it had a different intention, but not that different. Like it's still, but playing, you play songs and you play like abstract stuff, and it feels like there's a infinite gulf in between those things, but there really
there's
isn't.
not
There really
any
isn't.
gulf.
I think it's the same stuff. Like if you're gonna
totally
play a note that feels good and means something, then that's the job. It's not.
That's like
You know.
Michael's
I was
ring.
just
that
gonna say Michael
he was
said the
like
same
had this
thing.
great
Yeah.
example. He's like, I'm not really playing a pop song kind of player. It's not really so much what I do, but it's banging on a tom. And I like how the tom sounds. And so when I bang on it in a pop song, I'm happy because I'm banging on the tom and it sounds good. Well, during your concert, I also was thinking of the memorial service. Probably it's because I knew about it in advance. But had I not known about it, I feel like I might have still thought about something like that.
Well, these songs are laments. Like, it's not a neutral. It's not like I'm playing with a pitch set,
Yeah.
you know. This is a song.
The Ezra tone row.
I mean, this tune. I mean, it's an acapella tune normally. So that's what's one of the really interesting things to me about this folk song material is that it's not tunes. It's words and when I'm playing it as a tune, that is a mutation.
Yeah, it's an interpretation.
This is a song that's kind of was like recorded. There were like lots of versions of it recorded all over this region, and I think has entered the vernacular in the oral tradition as well. Called the Green Fields is the name of the song, and it's like probably the Jewish Ukrainian equivalent of like Johnny, I Hardly Knew You, or When the Shakes the Barley, or some one of these.
It in originally?
In Ukrainian Yiddish, which is not it's not a language that I know. Like it's not like and this is a very this is all gets into very strange territory for me as like a child of people who've fled World War II and from that region, but also not being raised as a Jew, like and so it's all kind of like there's a misty element to this that's a little.
So you're a little removed.
I'm a little removed from it, but I also want to know about it, and then I used to play in a klezmer band as a kid and take lessons from a klezmer player and go to these shows a lot.
So you had a certain amount of like cultural
exposure.
Yeah, but not like you were a Jew and this is where you're from. It was like
this is your identity. Yeah.
It was just kind of but I love the tonality. So you mean you were talking? I forget. Was I talking to you about it? About the tonality? Someone? Oh, it was Andrew. Andrew was saying like that sounded kind of South Asian or something. And I mean, to me that just maybe, but it's like this altered Phrygian mode that is like. This is interesting. I was thinking, this is interesting. Because you encounter this mode in music school, and they tell you what it is. They tell you this is harmonic minor.
Right.
Okay, this seventh resolves up.
Right.
And it is total bullshit. That is like some German guy's idea, because that is a stable tonality. Like, that is not harmonic minor resolving like to something. It's that's what it sounds like. So that's what and that feeling, that's why I wanted to like freeze it and be like just sit in this for a minute.
Yeah. Let's swim in that pond.
It would be hard to do without a computer.
Yeah.
But I don't think of it as computer music. I think of the computer as like it's just
another tool.
Yeah, I mean, if it was a physical object that could do all that stuff, that would be interesting. I don't know if I would. The computer is wonderful because it's, it can be transformed into whatever you want, and. When I work with Monum, back to that question, there's a company that essentially makes single-purpose computers, right? And I think that's interesting. Like psychically, I think it's interesting to have a device that's not your email device that you put on your pedal board.
Totally.
But in practice, I don't really care about that. Like, I actually kind of want fewer computers. So I already have one. It works good. And that's what I use.
I know exactly what I totally get what you're talking about.
I think like right now, if I was going to go on tour, say, if I was going to like perform 50 times in the next 2 months, I would definitely put the time in to create a Norns. I would make something for that, and that's what I would not think about it, and I would put it in my pedal box.
And you would be done.
And that would be that. But that's not my musical life right now. I'm fitting it into the cracks in life, and I'm using the things that I have around me to make the stuff right now. I'm not trying to make an app to be used by unknown other parties in the future for other purposes. Like I'm not making tools when it's my practice. I make tools for work.
There are all these little connections that were going on derived from, well, the tonality of the viola, right? But also the room and things like that too?
Yeah, let's see. It's just a spectral power distribution. And it's not derived from melody in the sense of attempting to preserve and then extrapolate the pitch, the structure in time. But there is a little bit of that. It collects a whole 5 minutes or 10 minutes of stuff. And it does use the time, but it then mostly is about, in this particular piece for tonight, was like, what happens if I take all of the spectral peaks and cluster them by experimented with a few clustering algorithms, and this is one that is totally whack, but I'm just trying it out. And cluster them and then like arrange them on the keyboard, and then I tried to build this device that is a little wonky, but it's kind of doing it, of like being able to, so each pitch class we're talking.
There it is, right there. It's the Ezra tone row.
Each MIDI note in this 2 octaves is mapped to a cluster of frequencies, and then I have a device that can kind of combine, like focus in on them or pull out and hear all of them at once. So that's one of the parameters for each key.
Wow.
Okay.
And then so it's like I play a tune and then I make this weird instrument out of whatever acoustic phenomena happened from that.
Yeah.
And then I didn't really quite do it too much. It didn't feel quite good, but sometimes I try to do another tune with that new instrument.
Yeah, I loved.
That's what, and then I try to and then have the old one and the new one process each other.
Yeah, it gets
super
meta.
And then all the rhythm stuff is derived from beating frequencies. And if there's one like kind of rule I've adhered to pretty thoroughly, it's that I don't really use any pre-recorded material, or I try to make it so that what I conceive as the instrument like can't exist without this time elapsing in this space to create it.
So time is making the instrument be what it is.
It can't happen instantly. It has to build up some stuff. So that's kind of what I like as far as the sort of, computer aided performance methodology. Don't look at my Bandcamp. It sucks. No fun. Nothing there.
Yeah,
Go away. Bye.
No website.
No website.
No social media. Bye. Hashtag something. Ezra.
Go outside.
Yeah, go out. Go
to the park. Thank you for joining us on the Casa Berenice Recordings podcast. We would like to thank the musicians for performing and our lovely community here in Northeast LA for attending our concerts.
For more information about our house concerts or our current release catalog, please visit our website, CasaBereniceRecordings.com.
And thank you for listening.